Yeah, I've got time.
Dual stick shooter, shared progress, floods of enemies, weapon variety, enemy variety, and quick to action. What's not to like? This is From Space. Welcome to another Will It 20 Minute. Today we are looking at a great little game called From Space. We're going to go ahead and dig into what is it, why do I play it, and why does it fall into our 20-minute game design. If you're enjoying my content and like to see more, please consider subscribing, drop a like, drop a comment. I love talking to all of you, and I do try to reply to everyone in quick order. Let's get into it. From Space is a great little game that thrusts you into an alien invasion from these gooey, Gumby looking things. It's Red Dawn meets War of the Worlds. Minus the tripods. There's no tripods here. Jumping into the game, you can opt for one of 6 characters. There is no character creation. I don't believe they ever intend on creating a character creation, which is really fine with me. There are 2 characters per class, and the characters adorably resemble these Funko Pop Vinyl minis. Classes are based on 3 things. You have offense, defense, and support. Pretty basic, some might say, but not every reimagining needs to go over the top. Some games aim to really overcomplicate and create some new way to identify the character classes. You just don't get that from Space. They're not doing that, okay? They're very straight, they're very direct, and they're very minimal. And that's something that I really, really enjoyed about the game. There are not a lot of moving parts, and that allows you an opportunity to get into the game and play and just enjoy the game and not have to worry about too many things. So they've gone the more direct route and just chosen to tell you flat out what the class of the character is and what they do. So each character is different. Each character has their own specials, their own unique weapons. So let's go ahead and dive into those real quick, and then we'll go ahead and roll out into the gameplay. All right, so here are the 6 current playable characters. Now, I play this game on and off. I do enjoy it a lot. The game does get pretty complicated, and we'll run through some clips so you can see just exactly how complicated the game can be. And I don't mean complicated, it's an easy game, but it's not. If you don't play tactically, if you don't play carefully, you can really get overwhelmed easily, and it's game over. This is, the red represents offensive, the blue represents defensive, and the green represent logistics or support, okay? So your offensive characters, you've got your sniper, you've got your lab assistant, his special weapon. So the sniper's special weapon, she has a sniper rifle. It does piercing. It does punch through multiple enemies at once. Your lab assistant, he has a cryo weapon. This weapon fires and it freezes. That's kind of his thing. Your defensive characters, you have this gentleman. He has your minigun. He's your goalkeeper. You have a flame trooper. So his main weapon is a flamethrower. Kerosene seems to be his specialties. You could see that our goalkeeper, he does a lot of defensive. I really like this guy too. He has an auto shotgun for his primary. And your specialist weapon is with your character the entire time. He's also really, really good at an Uzi turret generation. So he has an Uzi turret that he crafts. And then you have this electrician. So his weapon type is blue ammunition again as well. But he offers the electrolysis, right? So his special weapon is the electrogun. So every single character plays a little bit differently. And in true form, having that difference is nice. It's really nice to be able to have different characters that play differently, and you don't I'm not going to lie. I mean, I do play as this guy a lot, but the sniper, her weapon is beautiful. This guy, when his weapon gets going, he does an absolutely amazing amount of damage to bosses. He's beautiful. He's amazing. I really love the Flame Trooper. I haven't played with him a whole bunch. The auto shotgun, personally, I really love his ability, his Uzi turret. So the game offers a lot for the users, and you can see here the shared progress across all characters. That was another thing that's a big deal. So we'll talk about that a little bit more down the road, but you can see every single one of these is a level 11, and they have 8,700 XP until 10,000 XP. So that's the characters. Obviously, we're always going to have our favorites when we jump into games like this. I played with him for the longest time. I've been playing with the lab assistant for quite a while, and I played with him for quite a while as well. So I don't know, Adam Bulwark. I do like him. I do like him a lot. All right, so that's a quick look at the characters and the classes. Let's go ahead and jump into gameplay. So we're met with a game that really pushes gunfighting. All right. The minute you walk out of your safe zone, you can expect to be met with heavy resistance almost instantly. Killing each alien releases these energy orbs, and the size of the enemy dictates how many orbs you get. But the general base of thought here is the more you kill and the bigger and badder the alien, the more you get. The energy orbs are going to be used for leveling up as well. Leveling up weapons, your gear and all that stuff as well. Being thrust into the mix of combat right away is where games like this shine and find their place in 20-minute gaming. Being able to jump into a game and engage with the content right away is what this is all about. The map is also absolutely massive, but also detailed enough so that you don't really run the risk or come across the issue of, where do I go? What do I do? What's next? Where's the save points? The missions are also carefully laid out, and there's no guesswork involved. I like that. I want to see where I need to go for whatever reason and not have to have a little side notebook to take notes while gaming so I can simply open a door. I'm looking at you, Resident Evil. From Space easily fits into the 20-minute game category purely for the gameplay alone. But that's also not the only reason we're here. There are other aspects to what make a 20-minute game a 20-minute game. Now, From Space has a unique saving aspect where the game is persistent, but saving is not passive. Saving is a very active endeavor. So the only place you're actually able to save is inside the safe zones. Now, initially, I was a little uncomfortable with this because I was dying a lot, and I just was having a hard time getting a feel for the game. But I'm later level now, and I haven't seen any issues with the saving. You are committed to the time that you take outside the safe zones. When you're in combat in between safe zones, you're committed to that time. But there are plenty of safe zones around the map where if your plans change, you should be able to get from point A to point B without any problems, 5 minutes at the most. And inside that 5 minutes, you're going to get a lot of energy orbs. You're also going to level up. It's kind of a win-win. Now, I mentioned shared progress. So let's talk about that. This was a little odd for me. I was interested in leveling up all of my characters individually. From Space does not work that way. You can play one character for the entirety of the game, and that one character's experience is going to level up the other 5 characters that you can play as. Now, I reached out to the devs with this when the game was first releasing, and they basically told me, listen, we thought about making each class individually leveling. However, we didn't want to make the game too grindy. We wanted people also to be able to jump into playing with their friends and not feel locked into one character and one character only. And I can really appreciate that. If I play an offensive character purely and I wind up coming in to play with some friends and they want to play offensively, maybe I want to switch things up. Maybe I'll give them that offensive character and I'll jump in and play as defensive or combat support. So I appreciate that they wanted to do that. And I appreciate that in doing so, I don't have to worry about giving up my level 10 character to play as a level 1 character where I'm then going to be carried. So when I think about it that way, and after talking to the devs, it definitely does make a lot more sense to me. So what do we think? What are our final thoughts? Well, there are 3 things that really land this in my camp of must plays or in my camp of being a 20-minute game. Number 1, it's not easy. The art and animation can make it seem like a cute little kid's game, but these aliens will literally ruin your day. There is no end and no degree to the amount of times that I have failed completing a mission because they know exactly how to swarm, and when the swarms build up, if it is just you, and if you don't have a buddy watching your back, there is a very real possibility that you are not going to make it out of there. Number 2, the action is there. What's really beautiful about games like this is you can literally jump in for 5 minutes and not feel like you've wasted time. There's always something you get by playing, whether it's a mission you've been able to complete, whether it's energy orbs. There's always something that gives you a sense of completion or satisfaction. That's important when labeling a game as a 20-minute game. There has to be a degree of satisfaction and content in the finite amount of time that we have to play these games. And lastly, there's a simplicity to the game. Listen, there are some great 20-minute games out there, but what's really appealing about this one is that there's no learning curve to the game. It's a simple click and shoot interface. Sometimes it's nice to have a game you can just come into and you don't have to worry about the minutia of the game. There's no learning curve. Some tutorials can last for up to 30 minutes. Sometimes a tutorial can last up to an hour. You don't get that with From Space. In From Space, you're able to get into the game and you have a good degree of understanding what the objectives are and what the interface is going to be like so that you can just start playing. So there it is. Yes, From Space is definitely a 20-minute game. We've got more of these reviews coming down the pipe, so stay tuned. Remember to like, comment, subscribe. I look forward to hearing from all of you. Stay safe, stay frosty, and we'll see you out there. Nick out.